The landscape for contractors is changing wildly in 2025 right now, and I think there's a lot of things that I'm seeing because I'm blessed to work with hundreds of contractors on a weekly basis inside of our organization through consulting and marketing to see what they're actually dealing with while also running our own construction companies. We see a lot of what you guys are dealing with, and here's some things that I think you need to be prepared for and be paying attention to. I have been pretty outspoken about not being a huge fan of AI, but I want to clarify some things on this. AI is not going away. AI would be like saying the internet's going away or cell phones aren't going to work. AI is here because of the amount of money and efficiency it creates for people. And there's going to be good people and bad people using it. But I think what contractors need to be paying attention to is how they want to utilize it internally and externally. I'm a fan of internal AI utilization, efficiency, information analysis, structure, organization, repeat tasks, things like that. I am currently not a fan of AI in a client-facing environment. I'm going all in on people want to do business with people. I'm sticking to that. That's not going away. I'm staying on that. And there might be a season where I struggle as a business because people start to navigate towards AI and because it's going to be a less expensive option, and they're going to navigate back at some point because they're tired of doing business with computers. One of my biggest concerns about AI right now is I don't understand the parameters of what is AI's truth. When it comes to asking questions of ChatGPT or dealing with chatbots or call answering services, who controls what that is and is not saying the answer is? I don't like that. I don't find comfort in not knowing the parameters of what is the truth for the AI answerings. So I don't like it for client experience. I don't like it for direct to consumer stuff. I don't like it for call answering. I don't like chatbots. I don't like it as a consumer, so I'm not doing it as a product or service provider. So I'm not going all in on that. I do like using it for data analysis. I do like using it for repeat tasks. I do like using it for templatization and saying, hey, do this again this way. That it does work well for that. My primary utilization right now is ChatGPT, and I can plug in. This is what a position outline agreement is. This is how it's structured. This is what I want it to look like. Build me a position outline agreement for an office manager. It works really well for that. I can plug in a lot of data. Hey, here's 18 months of financial records. Show me some trends or some concerns or things I should be paying attention to. Works well for that. Works well for process improvement. It works well for SOP creation. It's not the end all be all. You can't just plug it in and say plug it straight into your business, but it's a good starting point. There's a lot of people right now pushing AI in the call answering, in the chatbot, in the consumer facing or customer facing experience. I am against it. Mostly because of my values and that I want to work with people who want to do business with people. Ultimately, I don't believe AI is putting contractors out of business, but you have to know how to use it to create efficiencies. In a lot of videos I've talked about because it will help you increase efficiency with decreased costs, which allows you to be more price competitive in the marketplace. Overall, you got to learn AI. You have to make your own decision on how you want to utilize AI. I don't think you're wrong if you want to plug it into your client experience. I'm choosing to not do that. But overall, AI is something you need to be aware of, you got to pay attention to, you need to self-educate on, and you need to test and try things for yourself. What do you like to use it for? And then how can it make your company better? Incredibly important. Obviously, the political marketplace is something to be paying attention to. Tariffs are obviously making an impact. But the truth is, pricing volatility isn't new. We dealt with it in COVID. We're dealing with it with tariffs. Pricing volatility is never going away. What you need to focus on, what I think is a trend that is underutilized, is making sure that your contracts and terms and conditions are up to par with what you are actually dealing with now. I think a lot of people build their terms, their conditions, their contracts into something they don't ever update or change. There's a lot of things that changes, and contracts and terms and expectations and things that you need to make sure that your clients are aware so to protect you is important. So look, conditions, pricing volatility, sub-volatility, product availability is never going away. That has always been there. It's more aggressive over the last 5 years than I think it was the 5 years previous to that. I've only been in the construction industry for the last 10 or 12 years. So that's all I've experienced. But the reality is I don't think it's going away. But you can control certain things by making sure that your terms, conditions, and contracts are up to date to protect you against those things from happening. That at this point are not an if it happens, it's when it happens. And that's just not going away. I think properly documented client contracts, employee contracts, terms and conditions, things, disclaimers, I think are huge. Things that are covered, things that are not covered, things that are their responsibility, things that are your responsibility. I worked and helped scale a custom home builder, and our terms and conditions and our disclaimer sheet was like 5 or 6 pages long to make sure that we were protected from clients trying to take advantage of us, because that's also not going away. There are clients that are just bad. and going to look for loopholes to take advantage of you. That's just the truth. So having terms, conditions, disclaimers, contracts up to date and regularly updated is a very important thing that I don't think is kept up with or prioritized enough for most construction companies. Overall, the biggest thing I'm kind of tired of hearing is no one wants to work anymore. I don't think that's true. I think the people who want to work for companies that are mission focused and are actually performing and have good leaders and live by standards. They're just not willing to work for you. I have hired many people in their 20s, many millennials. I have numerous employees in multiple companies that are under the age of 25 that are some of the hardest workers I have. The difference is who they're willing to work hard for has changed. I think one of the biggest differences is people of previous generations worked hard no matter who they worked for. It was something they took pride in. Now people who work hard want to work hard for people that they believe in, missions they believe in, things they're passionate about. So if you cannot find people that want to work hard, you are the problem. There are plenty of people out there that are working hard for others. I see it. I have plenty of them working for me. Between the companies I run, I have over 120 employees. Is that huge? No, but it gives me a good sample of like who's willing to work hard and who isn't. I have numerous people who are on the younger side of the age bracket that are outworking the older people because they are working for a mission in a company they believe in and want to be a part of. So I think the trend is going to be hard workers are being more selective with who they're willing to work hard for. And it's important for you to build a brand, build a mission, build a vision, build core values, build strong leadership to attract, gain, and maintain high performers on your team. There are a lot of people out there that want to work hard. They're just very selective of who they're willing to work hard for. And so be the attractive character. Be somebody people want to work for. Because there are plenty of hard workers out there that are literally willing to take pay cuts to work for companies they want to work for. I've seen it. I've done it. I've proven it time and time again. And that is a trend that is not going away. So if you do not take it seriously to build an organization, a culture that is worth the effort of a high performer, you're going to be stuck with low performers for the rest of your life. So take that, please take that seriously. Overall, those are the biggest trends I see right now that I don't think people are taking enough effort and attention on. And I think you should. So if you have questions on that, click the link below. Let's have a conversation. There's not a rule of thumb for anything I just mentioned. Each of those things need to be made your own, and they're trends that you cannot ignore and continue to find success in business over the upcoming years, or even the upcoming months, to be honest. So make those things happen, make them a priority, deploy that, implement that immediately so that you can win fast and win often.